Good afternoon. Today I will be giving a presentation on my native country, La República del Perú. First, I'd like to give some background on the country and its statistics. Peru is located in South America and its population is composed of 300 million people. The country was freed from the Spanish colonial power in 1824 at the expense of the Incan Empire and indigenous people. The capital used to be Jauja and moved to Lima, Peru, where I was born. Peru has many dialects and the languages, but most relevant are Quechua and Spanish. In order to understand Peru more thoroughly, we must first explore its political history, current government climate, and its political parties. Like I mentioned before, Peru was one of the colonies of the Spanish Empire. Francisco Pizarro colonized the region, and it wasn't until the 1820s where José de San Martín and others freed the country to what is known today as the Republic of Peru. However, the country had a difficult time establishing a democratic system. Thus, from 1968 to 1980, Peru really embraced a military regime that was headed by different generals such as General Velasco. In the midst of that regime, Fernando Belaúnde was elected as president in 1963, but was overthrown by a coup. He was then re-elected in 1980, but the military still continued to hold a lot of power over the country. From the beginning of his term and until 1990, there was a lot of instability within the country. From 1988 to 1990, Alan Garcia was democratically elected, followed by Alberto Fujimori, Alejandro Toledo, Alan Garcia, elected again, and then Ollanta. Each president that was democratically elected has brought problematic issues to the country. Corruption, human rights violations, among other conflicts were all experienced with each president. Now we can move on to the current political climate. Pedro Pablo Kuczynski ran for elections last year. He represented the Peruvians for Change party. He had a more socialist approach utilized throughout his campaign and beat Keiko Fujimori, daughter of former President Alberto Fujimori, by just a few votes. His political goals included safe drinking water, high-quality public education, universal health care, an end to informal employment, better infrastructure, politics to fight corruption, discrimination, and crime. All of these appealed to the Peruvian people, and thus he was the winner. The political turmoil is a reflection of the division within the Peruvian political parties. These are some of the major parties: Acción Popular, Partido Aprista Peruano, Partido Popular Cristiano, Peruanos por el Cambio, Tierra y Libertad, Solidaridad Nacional, Partido Nacionalista Peruano, Partido Demócrata Somos Perú. There are actually over 20 parties in Peru. The United States has also managed to intervene in Peru's policies and daily operations. Since 1827, the United States has shown support toward Peru, with the exclusion of during the military regimes and Alberto Fujimori's presidency. They also signed a trade deal in 2009. In the 1990s, Peru faced a troubling time due to drug usage and selling. The United States stepped in and provided military aid to combat this problem. Since then, the United States is Peru's second largest exporter, mostly because of this trade promotion agreement, tying Peru very closely with the United States in order to keep the economic momentum going. Most countries in Latin America have been affected by the United States of American forces and influence. So now we move on to the war on drugs that Peru is currently facing. Peru is a major producer and exporter of coca in Latin America. It is believed that 55 hectares of coca crops are within Peru and is continuing to expand. The production is continuing to grow, and it seems not even the current flood will stop entrepreneurs from pursuing their ventures of working in the drug business. Organizations like DeVida are doing everything they can to ensure that no new plants are grown. However, it is almost impossible. The revenue earned is far greater than any ethical standard that some people are aiming to obtain. It is also important to realize that nearby countries like Bolivia and Colombia are helping these efforts and supporting coca plants' expansion. Advancements in technology are also helping these endeavors. Coca production is really all over the place. The production and cultivation has flourished in the Apurimac, Ene, and Mantaro River Valley. Secluded jungle areas have been explored by entrepreneurs, leading Peru to be the second biggest producer of coca in the entire world. So what is the federal government doing to prevent this? Honestly, not much. PPK implemented a 5-year strategy to combat drugs. The system is so decentralized that it's almost impossible to take a hold of this issue. There are military bases that are actually used to land narco planes for the low price of $10,000 per landing that is paid to the military officers. Although there are disadvantages to drug smuggling and production, it is helping a lot of people who are struggling to survive by letting them earn money by working in those fields. The people of Peru are a mix of many different cultures, including Indians, Spaniards, and other Europeans, descendants of African slaves and Asians. Peru's population is very diverse, and although over 50% of the population is composed of Asians, mestizos, blacks, and others, it is still very difficult for the population to work as one. In 2011, a Cusqueña woman was not allowed to re-enter a movie theater alone by the entrance guards. This indigenous woman was treated with disrespect and discriminated against because of her physical appearance. Racism was also experienced during the last election. Residents of Peru took onto social media to express their disgust toward the Indians of our community, claiming "death to all those Indians" who voted against the white candidate. However, there is not discrimination just because of physical appearance, but a caste system that still exists and causes further problems amongst the community. Gender inequality, social class, and race play a role in discrimination in the country of Peru. My favorite topic is definitely the economic growth that Peru has experienced in the past few decades. The country is very rich in agriculture, mineral, trade policies, marine life, folklore, and history. This means that the economy is heavily based on the production and utilization of these items. A majority of the population relies heavily on the fertilization of the land. Potatoes, wheat, quinoa, and other raw goods are grown in northern Peru and brought to the city to sell. Most of the raw goods are also exported to the United States and Europe. Peru's different departments have also taken a step in the right direction within their marketing capacity. The government has implemented a new initiative, simply titled Peru, to attract new buyers and tourists. Superfoods is a subsection of Marca Peru. That it is a marketing tactic to get other people to invest in Peru's agriculture. All of this new attraction allows the small farmers to continue to work on their lands and profit from their hard work. Tourism. Peruvians have created different traveling packages for different excursions for foreigners. Each year, the country prepares for over 3 million visitors from all over the world to visit historic lands like Cusco, Trujillo, Cajamarca, Arequipa, among others. I could not end this presentation without emphasizing Peru's folklore. Peru's diversity in geography and rich culture gives room for folkloric dances to blossom. Different regions have nurtured their dances to reflect their struggles, happiness, and different historical occurrences within their communities. The Peruvian people have turned to folklore to really express how they're feeling. Overall, Peru has had a difficult time with its politics, U.S. intervention, discrimination amongst the population, but it also has seen an economic growth by really honing on the country's scenic views and cultures.